up a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tansenn, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 18.21, Ghouls, Guns, and Guilt, where we are covering the novel White Knight. My name is Tansenn, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Onus refers to a responsibility, obligation, or burden.
The onus is on
You.
do. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us do what we do. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling. Chapter 40. Harry and his group extract the remaining members of House Raith. Almost everyone has escaped when Vittorio Malvora unleashes a debilitating emotional assault, paralyzing the last of the members of the escaping group.
Oh, those Malvoras. So, they're getting their part done. They decide, he's like, fuck, we gotta actually get the king, and also, therefore, Lara, and also, therefore, their whole contingent out. Right. Otherwise, I'm still screwed later on down the road. God damn it. So, instead of getting to run away, let's run back into the fray.
Stupid red tape.
For freaking flopper. I saw something the other day where
I saw the sign.
It was like a movie remake or something, but then they slotted in all the Muppets. I'm trying to remember now. It might have been Star Wars, but I feel like it was something else. But it was kind of funny who they had assigned for certain roles. It was like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, your Defluffen made me.
Oh, I was like, where did what?
Because, yes, the chef was
That was a train I didn't follow.
You didn't get on at the same station.
I do like that everyone de facto listens to Harry when he starts barking orders. Okay, Ramirez is like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but okay, fine. You know what's happening, fine. Marcone's like, okay, fine, I'm here to help you. But yes, what do you want happening? And even Hendrick's doing that little like, yeah, boss, I should listen. Okay, fine.
Yeah. The chat. Am I actually?
Right, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Harry seemingly has a plan, guys. Let's do this. But I also really like how, I don't know, like the responsibility he immediately gives Murphy. He's like, Murphy's my right-hand man, okay? Yeah. You do this. Who cares about the boys? They don't give a fuck, okay? Murphy, you're on my back. Fuck the rest of these idiots.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, Marcone is here to get us out, but also you watch everything and you just tell your soldier guys what to do.
Even Thomas and Ramirez, he's like, I don't care if you get killed in this.
I mean,
whatever, you got powers, you're fine, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting because, like you say, Ramirez is like, all right, you seem to have a plan. But knowing already what Ramirez is kind of brought up and what he's going to afterwards, it's kind of surprising even at that point that he is as willing as he is to just go with the flow and accept it.
Ramirez wants to survive. He can't bitch out Harry if he dies. And yes, his best bet right now, he's like, my team is kind of these guys, I guess. But
yeah.
Of course you're going to be pissed about it later.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it is almost a little bit like he is still trusting in that moment that he is still part of that team and he is still, but
his only option is like, okay, never mind, I'm a one-man band, I'm not on anyone's side, yeah, now I'll live.
Fair, yeah.
It's worth it to not be on your team, Harry, to make this point.
I'm just saying, these are good combat, I guess, drill, exactly, this is where you don't stop and question and start wondering. You're just like, okay, do it for now, get out, and then hopefully at least that way it puts him in a better position too, because he is standing right, in front of the gate they're going to run away through. So of all things, I guess, that way too. He's like, well, even if Harry tries to do shit, I'm like right here. So.
Well, they kind of got to split up the magic users too, so like not all of the magic.
Oh, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and I mean, like I say, who knows? I mean, he still might have done that even without the leg injury and stuff like that, because Harry makes a very good point, is this is our escape route. We need this guarded and kept on our side kind of a thing. So, yeah, regardless of whether Ramirez had been 100% or not, he might have left him to guard the gate anyways, just to, but good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know if it's good he's got a leg wound. It gives him a good reason to just park him there and not have him fully into the fray even more, whatever, but...
That's why it's really good visuals, because you've got Harry, Thomas, Lara, 2 more Raith sisters, the King, Justine. Then you've got Ramirez, Murphy, Marcone, Hendricks.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, and it's like this one unit that, okay, Marcone brought all these fucking mercenaries and whatnot, right? And there's obviously all these vampires and everything, but like...
And then you also have the thralls that are
and then the
getting in the
random
way.
thralls,
And then
there's technically fairy prisoners.
Yeah, this is just how big is this cavern, you think?
big
It has to be
they've already said it's
cathedral size.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We already
insane.
know it's huge. I mean, again, it's holding all these contingents
cave.
of TARDIS cave.
Because every time they talk about moving, I was like, they're not there yet? Like, what is taking them so long? But it makes sense if it's...
But it's like a massive group working its way through this thing.
It's like the Hanna-Barbera never-ending run. Like, if you ever watch those cartoons, it just like the scenery just loops and loops and loops. So it's like, it's like Harry just keeps running across this cave and running across this cave and running. He never gets to the other side, but he just keeps running across this cave, picking up people as he goes.
And I would walk.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I have to admit, that does mess with my brain a little bit sometimes when he's like, we're right there, and then Laura picked me up and we jumped like 500 feet, and then it was like still 2 feet to the entrance. And I'm like, well, how big, how close, how far, how...
Yeah. I think I had it in my head that it was much smaller, and I have to reset that big, giant space.
Multidimensional.
I think that, it is almost like Sator's, but I think that's to say, because I think as you talking or describing, your brain tends to like focus in on that. And exactly, you just like, oh, there's like 10 people talking. This room fits like 10 people. Then you're like, oh, there's 200 people talking. Oh, yeah, this room fits 200 people. Then you're like, oh, yeah, there's just Harry and
400
Laura.
more showed up to kill people.
Like exactly. Like, I think that's kind of how my brain, like exactly is that sort of a thing I tend to.
Remember, we had 2 armies waiting in the Nevernever. They apparently all fit in here.
which is still, like, we were talking about it last one, because you were like, it's weird that Cowell and Marcone weren't just like staring at each other from like 10 feet away waiting to get into the same place, right? And I'm like, it is like, I do understand the mechanics of how that, but it is still kind of weird because like as they reiterate again here, they're like, well, Thomas let us in. So I'm like, okay, Thomas can find his way to get to find his deeps and all that, right? Like, yeah, almost sacrificed by a cult of porn stars, But then that Harry is going to open that spot where Thomas picked out. Like, those are the things sometimes that kind of, not so much that like Thomas can find or that Harry can open.
Sometimes it's geographical and sometimes it's emotional. And in this case, because we're brothers, we just did both.
I get, yeah, right? Like, is that all it is? Was it just like his magic zoning in on like Thomas on the other side? And like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, like you say, right? Like when Cowell opened up theirs or something, like, yeah, it is. It's just...
It seems like a difficult feat.
It's fuckery, but it makes sense, and yeah.
I think it is almost like Cowell and Marcone came in 2 different ways, like almost like the literal like emotional entrance and geographical entrance. And Harry didn't matter to Harry which one he opened. He just had to open it in that same spot, and didn't matter to Malvora. He just had to open it in that one spot. But the other teams had to make sure that they had it right, whether emotionally or geographically, and they both just got it, but different ways. So Thomas could have technically gone anywhere in the world almost, as long as he believed emotionally. That's where he almost died. Not that that's exactly how I believe, but it just...
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, I get Thomas finding wherever, like you say, wherever he ends up is going to be somehow connected. But like you say, that's a good point where you're like, so when Harry went to open his door... Right. What was stopping him from opening
Cowell's door?
Cowell's, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? He just suddenly ripped open a way, because obviously that was a way to the, right, exactly, like, ooh, wrong door, like that's what I mean. Almost like from that point of view, I can understand Cowell getting there from his side. I understand Thomas getting there from his side. Again, I don't think, because Vittorio didn't really open the way, did he?
Oh, I thought he...
Or did he do something to open it? And
I thought he initiated it, but I guess it could have just been Cowell, because Cowell's kind of...
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I mean, he did this kind of like, yes, master, come through. So he kind of is the one who breached it, but I don't know if it was like a code to Cowell to do it, or if he actually did.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I take it more of that as like, I'm here, come get me.
I was going to say they
Cowell
had that.
opens it because he's much more talented.
I was going to say, right, I don't recall. I have to reread, but I don't recall, like you say, Vittorio actually doing a motion to right? So exactly, he just somehow had to reach out, which I'm sure is its own thing. But exactly right. But Cowell opened it because Cowell was there on his side and was right. But that's the thing. It was with Thomas being on that side and Harry being on that side. I'm like, that's what makes it interesting to me, that Harry could open Thomas's door and not, like you say, accidentally open any of a number of other places.
I kind of think the way that Vittorio did it was kind of like how the fetches were coming through, because they were honing in on a signal, which in this case it was fear.
Yeah,
and that was how. But like, so he's
that's
he's
fair,
got like Cowell's,
yes, Cowell
energy address. Come get me, mister. That's how I took it.
Yeah. There you go. That's very.
So it doesn't really matter where he is. He's just like,
go
there.
Way, but yeah.
Maybe the difference is that Harry can just open it up, and the other side is the other side. Harry doesn't choose what's on the other side. So Thomas had to go find the place. But Cowell's so powerful that he just automatically be like, my basement to your caves.
I'm just gonna rip open a hole.
Yeah, he's like using
like
more
a
of a
worm
transporter.
tunnel, sort of. Yeah, like he doesn't have to be on the other side of the Nevernever. He's just like, I can literally just make the warping tunnel. Just go from wherever I want. So Edinburgh Castle to here. Done.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, any of those, like I say, it makes more sense because, like I say, I think Cowell was opening it from his side. So yeah, he's going to get there. But just exactly for Thomas to be like, I know, because Murphy's like, how do we get nobody else? But Thomas had to find where. And just the fact that exactly like anywhere in that thing that he would have opened it up, Thomas would have been on that was just the only... Craziness, magic, I know.
I like the idea of a port key still, that like he's got like something in his pocket and he's like, master! Touch the port key.
Could be. They rip off stuff all the time. Darby was such a little bitch. He'd be like, hey, I saw the movies. He's only like a B-level director. He totally rips stuff off from like... the Potter films and all that.
So this is quite the fights going on, and the houses are very rapidly losing.
Yeah, so again, in this whole bullshit that Vittorio's not even like going for like House Malvora. He's just like kill everyone.
Yeah, he's got no allegiances, nothing, just done.
Davis and Malvora are all just getting ripped apart. And I love how right, because again, as always, we're in Harry's head, we're getting his tactical rundown, and he's like, oh, so Vito had all the biggest, scariest guys grouping around him, keeping him safe, doing his bidding, and Marcone is immediately like, hey, that guy over there seems to have all the biggest guys, all groups around. He's like, fuck off, Marcone. He's thinking the same thing at the same time, and he's just like, but I just love it. Again, that's strategizing. You're like, well, that's there you go. That's why you brought me.
That's a great point to lead into my point, because he goes, hey, Raith, Lord Raith, the man, King Raith, supposedly, let's make an alliance. And he all goes like, oh, hoity-toity, yes, I propose that we. And he's like, yeah, get to it later. But when it comes to the actual deal, he looks to Laura's eye to get Laura's nod of approval. And I'm like, okay, it's one thing if you think Ramirez is like too caught up in everything, but you just had proof that Marcone is paying attention to everything. And you're gonna be like, hey, Laura, we're making a line. Oh yeah, King, you and me are making Lawrence, we're good. And he waits for Laura to nod first to be like, okay, good, alliance is on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if Marcone feels like paying attention right now, which we already know he definitely 100% absolutely is, he just gives away everything constantly.
Right. In these like last 4 chapters, like I think the biggest thing that Harry keeps on doing is underestimating his allies.
He just and
hugely so. Like,
a little
just,
bit jumping ahead here. But yeah, exactly. He is making these threats to Marcone. He's like, you have to protect me, Marcone, because if you get stuck in the Nevernever, I'll just leave you there. And I'm like, you're surrounded by all these supernatural baddies. First of all, who got them in the Nevernever in the first place? Like, yeah, maybe you sent them all there earlier in the day, but I was like, clearly not when Ramirez has been around, because he doesn't know shit. So I was like, one way or another, with all these other supernatural baddies, including Thomas, I think they can get out of the Nevernever without a wizard. Like, they've got a lot of
that is the
options.
whole point, is Thomas led them there. He's like, Thomas will lead you back. That is very
Harry's
specific.
saying that he'll leave his ass in the Nevernever with no way to get home, and I'm like, I feel like that's impossible. Well, everything in the Nevernever can basically get out of the Nevernever one way or another.
I was going to say, Marcone being as resourceful as he is, I'm like, yeah, in theory, it's a great threat. But again, Marcone being Marcone, I have no doubt that exactly he'll just strike some fucking deal with the first ferry he walks across.
And then furthermore, that whole, we need to make an alliance with the Whites because we want, with the race, because we want the race to stay in power, not the Malvora or Scavy.
Yes.
Blah, 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 this. I'm just saying, yeah, Harry does a very poor, like Laura, again, skipping ahead a little bit, but Laura's basically masterminded this whole thing, okay? Laura was the one who was like, oh, I'm going to tell Thomas that something's wrong with Justine, so that Thomas gets all pissed off and he accidentally lets his brother in on the chase. And then Harry's going to learn about a woman being murdered. And he's going to immediately be like, well, I'm putting an end to this. And then, oh no, everybody's done my dirty work for me, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Laura has depended on Harry to come and play this role for her. And the whole time he's like, anything you say, Mr. Raith. Yeah, Lord Raith. And then anything you say, Mr. Raith. And then, Mr. Raith. Let's make an alliance. Like the whole time. So
it is kind of fun. And yeah, it does make you wonder sometimes, like, are these the things that exactly you're like, I'm noticing them, so is everybody around him gonna, or are these supposed to be like things that you're not supposed to, like, because you're in Harry's head,
yes.
but
if it was Ramirez back in the limo that I was complaining about like a couple chapters ago, sure, I'm like, maybe that's Ramirez isn't going to fully pick up on that, even though Harry was kind of overt about it, no, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, and then immediately doesn't apparently hear it from the horse's mouth. But when you've got a character like Marcone that's been well told that he fucking picks up on all these little things, I'm like, I think that's a fair assumption to say that that's not the audience being like, listen, more information.
I know, same thing, like exactly when he's like, I looked past him to Lara and was like, cut it out, and she's like, okay, fine, and you know what I mean? Like, exactly the same thing. Well, I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's hoping Marcone's too busy, like, shooting off ghouls from his bag. Like,
which is why I'm like, but you brought up your point one thing before that. He's like, oh, look at those guys over there. And it's like,
yeah.
Yes, Marcone's paying the fuck attention. He brought all these mercenaries here to handle the goddamn cannon fodder so he can look around and learn all his shit. And
and also
just, charge,
this is how Marcone runs his empire, by not just being a dumbass and by not just letting, he hires people to do, but
just doesn't believe in his allies or something like that. Yeah. He just thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he
I don't know if it's like him just underestimating, or if he's just a little bit arrogant in his own.
Oh, he's arrogant
cleverness.
As fuck. He's absolutely arrogant.
A little column A, a little column B, But yes, I know for all his, like you say, right? He couldn't even be bothered to tell Ramirez that, they probably are planning something, and don't worry, I'll have it. Even again, if you don't want to go into all the details because he won't approve, or you don't want to tip your hand or whatever. But again, you couldn't even tell Ramirez that I have a plan B in case. But exactly, but you'll sit there and talk to Lara straight up in front of
he's straight up like, who the fuck would go into that without a backup army, Ramirez? You think I'm fucking dumb? And Ramirez is like, well, that's what the fuck you called me for. I was your backup army. Like, what the fuck? Why am I even here if you have all these other losers with you?
So he needed somebody else official in the council. He couldn't go in and make the claim on his own.
I've been on the bus for 4 days.
Well, that solves it.
I'm just saying, though, it's very funny. Every time Ramirez comes to Chicago, he's like, oh, you've got a fucking dinosaur? Why the fuck am I here?
He did call. I was going to say, he didn't call Ramirez, but I'm like, okay, yeah, he did get all the... But he wasn't planning on. He called the dinosaur because he didn't
200 mercenaries. Why am I here, bro?
Just to make it official.
But just to be fair, Ramirez is like, you never tell me anything. I'm like, he's telling you a lot more. He's just bringing you all his shit. He doesn't tell you anything about it, but we should get to be there.
That's all right.
It's more than anyone else in the council.
Poor Ramirez. One of the things that I really appreciate about the next, I think it's in the next chapter as well, but every time Harry starts describing Lara in this, we were suddenly faced with a line of savage goddesses bathed in black blood. And it's just like this sort of primal warrior goddess description is really quite fabulous. I'm like, yes.
Well, I find I guess I get it, and whatever. But I also find it interesting that when shit starts going pear-shaped, that again I get a certain primal drive, instinct, hindbrain, whatever. But they just all start eating everything around them too. I'm like, how is this gonna get you up? I get a sort of like you say, you get a pack of dogs stirred up, and then they're just like, whatever, right? They're just, everybody's doing their mob mentality and all that kind of stuff. I get we get going in strange ways and we, rioting and all that. But it's just, again, I'm like, considering that there is a much bigger threat to all of you as well, that I could get a few of you going kind of like you say, the weaker members. But I'm like, basically the whole, everybody just starts being like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Start eating all the people inside.
That might be commentary on the White Court's demons specifically. The race pride themselves on restraint and only eating the best of the best and not eating very often because it can cause them problems. Maybe this is a commentary on the other ones that are more like debased like dogs because they don't limit themselves and they don't show restraint, so that the second that they're suddenly in front of a buffet, they can't control themselves and they're immediately just on everything.
Yes, but it was just...
And this is why they're in charge.
Yeah.
And that is part of why that exactly, they have that even within their own ranks, is exactly the ones that are a slave to their baser instincts, remain at the bottom of the totem pole kind of a thing. I get all that, right? But just, again, you've suddenly got a Tyrannosaurus Rex bearing down on you to eat your face, and you're like, this would be a good time to just, you know what, I don't need to save these cakes anymore. I don't, you know, like, just that not, like, again, even I get, like, ones where they're, like, throwing bodies in front, whether it's vampire or thrall, I even get that right. Shove them out in front to delay and hold, here, eat this guy, I'm gonna run away, but just that so many of them.
Yeah, but you're starting with
over the whole
your
thing
opinion
was,
of having, like, an already healthy person. If you've got somebody already taken over by rabies, they fucking want cake. I don't know.
I guess, I just, again, at this, it's not, right, you have, like,
I don't know how to turn it around to make a water reference.
I don't know. But okay, but these are supposedly the high, right? This is a government meeting. You don't have your entire country there with you. So presumably the people that you have brought to this are the upper echelons, the ones who are...
We know from the entrance and all these people that are along the wall that were just supposed to be light snacks that this is not the case, though, that there's a bunch of them that already don't have discipline because they've already killed a bunch of people.
I get that. I just, to me, in such a large thing that not that the eating is the thing that how they can
but you already said it, like large government, okay? Most of the people in there are not useful, smart, working in the interest of the people.
I suppose,
you know, the higher than their,
again, you're supposed to be able to play the game enough to be.
You would think,
right?
That's why the Wraiths are really. The Wraiths are like, yes, you guys are playing the game. You're absolutely playing the game. You are equal to us. Okay, let's all have a meeting next week about it.
I guess I just find it interesting that they're top.
I like that.
That was very well done. I did like that, but just that you would think there would be, even in monstrous creatures like this, some sort of higher self-preservation to even run away.
On the one hand, I kind of fully understand what you're saying. On the other hand, that's why you've got a difference between, Mavra. Fuck, there's so many M names in this goddamn series. Mavra is one of the only ones of the Black Court still left over because she was one of the only ones that had that sort of discipline and foresight and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Of the White Court, you're going to have so many of them still. Of the notable characters, I mean, we don't even know any of Laura's sisters' names, okay? Well, we know one sister's name, but just because she's not out and isn't a vampire anymore, like, there's a certain point. There's not worth learning about all of them, okay?
The White Court red shirts?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, again, we need to fill in this government, but to a certain point, they can't all be masterminds because then they're, like, they have to be the same with the Red Court having a Red King, like, somebody has to be at the top of the food chain for some reason.
I do. I get that. But like I say,
they seem too idiotic and too debased.
Yeah, I was going to say, if this was just a random sampling of the population, like, okay, like you say, you start riding in the streets and everybody. But considering these are supposed to be, quote unquote, the ones in charge, that way, it's just how fast that, again, it just evolves into them all just attacking.
Okay.
Like, you're not even just like trying to attack the other.
I don't think that it's not a random population. I think that Raith, Malvora, and Scabies are the only amassed families that could possibly be in control.
Yeah.
And there
I
are
get that they are
who knows,
the strongest.
Another couple hundred thousands, millions of other random white vampires that will never be able to amass that kind of name for themselves, right? If you're not part of one of these three main houses. But of those three main houses, most of the people there are just because they've got the last name, not because they've got any sort of influence or drive or, they just happen to be like, well, my great-great-aunt is actually important, and we share the last name, so I get to come to this stupid meeting so I can vote for my aunt to be in charge.
I'm half and half with you there. Again, I think, I don't know, it's a little bit hard to say because in some ways, again, creatures that live for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and obviously as we've seen that the White Court can just procreate, like humans and whatever, right? He can sire as many, but at the same time, he also hasn't. Again, he keeps killing off sons, so who knows how much bigger his family would be with those around and them reproducing, but as half a dozen daughters or whatever, but again, from that reason, like, again, even if you only have 5 or 6 kids, but you're 500 years old, and then those 5 or 6 kids have 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 5 or 6, you still could have a lot of higher up still.
Yes, which is why I think that describes Malvora and Scabies and not the Wraiths. The Wraiths aren't producing. The Wraiths are their family unit of, like, Well, we've got the cousins some way, somehow they're in there as well. But
Yeah, but just what you're saying, or just be like, oh, great aunt, just because. But
I'm
like,
talking of the Malvoras.
yeah,
Like,
no,
that's
I know, but I'm saying in like a human population, you're right. You're like, you spread out so fast and so far. Like, again, you're the 610th in line to the throne. Nobody gives a fuck who you are.
Well, that's rude.
But in a vampire rate where exactly you can all live and grow, and that 609th to the throne still might be higher up and might be, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining well what I'm trying to say now either, but
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying anymore, so no.
anyways, it doesn't matter.
Cacophony. And everybody's eating each other. And
The onus is on
Craziness.
Lord Raith to just protect everybody.
lots
and
of
get them out
blood,
there.
lots of ichor. And now we're down to the last 20 or so of the House Raith. And some thralls.
And some girls.
And a lot of other dead houses. There we go.
Yeah, so, I mean, whatever. It works out in Harry's face fine. The Scaifus and the Malvora can just all kill each other off, and the Uber ghouls can kill all them off, and we're just going to worry about our people and some of Lara's people, and cool. Gets the pressure off of us.
The
sort of.
cacophony of ghouls and guns.
Woohoo.
That's fun.
But I do like, again, how they get in.
It's our book title.
Oh. That once again, yes, Harry's like, let's make a truce and we'll get each other's butts out of here because I still need stuff from you. And she's like, yep, sounds good. And then he's like, but we're going to take all these helpless people with us. You cannot, we're getting the pets out of the house too. You can't just leave them all to. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? Who cares? And Harry's like, no. So once again, fine. Just to make it that much harder, you're going to. But once again, Lara turns it to her advantage as well.
Killing the lights is pretty smart. I like that Harry says. He's like, it's so easy for a wizard, it's instinctual. Lights go out, put the lights back on.
Well, for any human, exactly right. Like, yeah, none of us can operate in, so we just, like you say, they have the ability to.
Yeah, for us, immediately pull out our phones and turn on the flashlight, true. But at the same time, I was like, I feel like in a lot of emergency situations, you know, the emergency lights go on and you're kind of like, yeah, let's not make a target for myself. That it's so instinctual for a wizard that it's like by the time you even had the thought, don't make myself a target, you've already turned the lights on.
Yeah, which is funny because that is exactly what he does, as you say. But it's funny because just a book ago, when this happened in the hotel and the lights go out and Harry's like...
Yeah, he's like, put it out.
He's like, don't turn... And exactly, the girl flicks her lighter and he's like, don't, right? And he's telling Rollins, he's like, don't turn on your flat, right? So I'm like, again, maybe this is a higher stakes, more intense. I guess, you know, there's a difference between walking down like a hotel hallway where you're a much more limited space, you can stick your hand, as opposed to being in this ginormous cave of slaughter. But yeah, exactly. I was like, but you knew just like 6 months ago not to make yourself a target and turn on the light and the dark scary light.
It is a little bit because back in the movie theater, you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know who you were fighting at that point, right? It was still a little bit like, maybe if the lights are out, nothing can see nothing. But in this room where I know vampires and ghouls are absolutely
know
seeing
that
with the lights
the
on,
majority
I need to even the playing field stat, especially because not only am I here alone, but I'm with 500 other humans who can't see.
Yeah.
It's immediate. Like, we immediately have to turn the lights back on, but oopsies, yep, target immediately.
Yeah,
it's smart play from the bad guys, really, I mean.
Right, and Cowell's no dummy, we know that, yeah, he's good at strategy, he's good at knowing his opponents.
He's never missed an appointment, ever.
Never. Every time he's scheduled to kick Harry's ass, he shows up and kicks it. Opponents, so it is a really, and it does exactly that. Instantly makes him prime target for where they are and who he is, and...
So this next, like, wallop of a spell that Harry throws down, this...
Wall of fire?
Yeah. I whirled the staff overhead, then I brought it down, gripped in both hands, striking its end on the stone floor as I cried, Flum Maria! Like, as if that's not totally, like, homage to Gandalf, you shall not pass!
Totally.
Yes, that part of it, yes.
In the flaming Balrog.
Yeah.
It's just sort of, that's what all it totally reminded me of. But what's funny to me is that, like, because I pulled up in my notes, I pulled up the little gif of that moment, the gif, whatever. And I realized that the Wardens also seem like very much an homage to Gandalf the Grey with their gray cloaks.
Yeah.
Because, like, in this little thing, he's got a sword, too. It's not just his staff. He's got a sword. And then, like, all the other Wardens have, like, a gray cloak and a magical sword that, you know, that's custom for them. I was like, there's a little Tolkien moment. Or if we're
like
in universe, Tolkien is a fan of the Wardens.
Tolkien was a summer night, and he's dead now. Give it up.
Oh, yeah, that part.
Oh, yeah.
But he was an artist in that one.
He was an artist in our one, too.
I
fell into a burning ring.
It's rough out here.
The flames went out. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so I'd say Harry is definitely leveling up magically, like, because, like, in previous books, spells like that, he would have just instantly blacked out. And then I wrote that, and then really, like, it took all of, like, a minute or two, and he was already like, "Arr."
And then I was going to say he is, because again, right, he's like, and just like that, I knew I'd reached my limit, but there's still like 146 pages in this book, so I'm going to have to dredge up some more from somewhere that...
Just enough for a shield spell.
I don't know, I'm like, you know what, Harry, we've seen you like take up jogging to improve your stat, because you run away from things a lot, so you're like, I'm going to get better at running away.
How do wizards level up their mana?
And we've seen you like take up staff fighting with Murphy, because you're like, okay, more accent. I have this big giant stick with me all the time. But yeah, and I'm like, on the one hand, obviously you are, because you're getting more powerful. But I'm like, where do we see you doing like the magical like speed bag and like heavy bag all the time, where you're like, because every time you reach your limit, Harry, you just need to be like constantly working your magical, because you know the next big thing is going to come along. And you're going to tuck her out by the time you... So, I mean, on the one hand, he has...
Like snorting a little fairy dust right before.
Well, I was going to say, it's kind of surprising he doesn't have, like, performance-enhancing drugs always in his pocket.
Well, in this case, it's
a little spice.
A little shadow of a coin.
Well, I guess, yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. But apparently it's not giving him more energy, because he's still, like, tuckering out and tiring here, and is like, no, I can't take
that part
anymore.
out for him if she really wanted to,
But he doesn't want to rely on all that. But yeah, just get some good old healthy steroids. That's just normal mortal addiction. That's not crazy supernatural
I just
power.
think considering his position, it could actually be smart. Like, considering everything.
No, for sure. Like I said, no, it's dangerous. Don't make deals with like Lashiel and the fairies together. But I'm like, yeah, just take like some freaking steroids, man. Like, yeah. Still up
different
your
kind
game.
of discipline.
Yeah, it's just regular drug addiction. It's not like getting your ass handed to you by making deals with things.
Do you think that maybe they just sort of age into their magic more and more as they get older? Like,
absolutely, because look at Ebenezer and the Merlin, and right, he's like, I'm top 20, but the Merlin can kick my ass. Or top 10.
Because Cherry, you know, they didn't use it and lost it.
On the one hand, yes, I'm going to agree, but I think it's also just like any muscle and any training, you know, you just get smarter. You just, like, you figure out how to use your magic in a better way. You learn better ways to do it, more ways to wield it.
Honing will, because he always talks about infusing his will, so if you're just like,
for sure. I think, again, like, you know, at the start of these books, when he talks about these, you know, grumpy old wizards up in their dusty old towers, I'm like, sure, you've probably got wizards that are 300, 400, 500 year old that are just average.
Retirees.
Yeah, you know, like they can do magic. They've always done, but exactly, they're not out here like on. So yeah, so their magic is fine, but they haven't grown it anymore to, you know what I mean? Like you say,
they're also not chasing down every baddie in Chicago,
that's what I mean, right? They either don't need to or don't care, you know? I mean, it's like, yeah, being like, you can, you know, learn and be an astrophysicist, or you can be like fucking an expert on like a bazillion things, and right, just how much do you want to keep learning? How much do you want to keep improving? How much do you want to, right? Do you want to have 1 PhD or do you want to have 6 PhDs? Some people have 6, right? Harry's got 6. The Merlin's got like 12. A lot of them are happy with their masters or their 1 PhD, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely think it's that kind of a thing that a lot of them just, again, innate things or whatever, right? Some are better at this and that and want to. So, yeah, I definitely think that maybe like the Merlin and Ebenezer and listens, I'm like, again, maybe they're kind of like Harry, where they had a sharper skill or more brute force to put into it, but definitely enough learning and aiming to improve to be on top, right? Because you don't get to be Merlin by collecting box tops.
When he puts that shield up, he does, like, run on empty again, like, kind of, where Thomas has to save him. And here's my question, and I think I've probably asked this question before.
Blue.
It's about opening up the Nevernever.
42.
When they were trying to get to Arctis Tour on previous, and Lily had to open up, didn't she have to stay and concentrate on keeping it open? And that was a fairy royalty that had to concentrate on keeping a gate to the Nevernever open. So why is his still open? Because he's like lost his focus enough that he's almost passed out. And his gate is still open. So I thought, so they don't need to have concentration to keep the gates open, or they do? Like,
are you feeling?
Do you understand what I'm asking?
I don't know the answer. I just kind of thought it was like a summer princess so close to the capital of winter is what made it so difficult for her.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
And that, like, if it was, like, a more neutral place, like the Nevernever right now, it's a more neutral place. It doesn't have, like, I don't know, bodyguards or some shit, kind of, like, putting its power on the area.
I guess there even could be, like, the difference between just plain Jane wizard magic doing the spell versus...
That's true. Fairies and wizards do use different kinds of magic.
I was going to say that would be more what I was going to aim for. I have to go back and check, but I remember...
Or even, like,
because
when Agatha Hagglethorn, because they briefly go into the Nevernever, like, did that one just close right away? Or did he have to reopen that? Or was that open? Like, what's the consistency with gates so far?
There is none. Stop asking questions.
I didn't come prepared on gate questions. I didn't know. I think he left the gate open with Agatha because I think they just stumbled back through that one. I don't think he opened a new one, but I'm not 100% sure. I was going to say yes. I feel it's more to do with the potential between the mortal magic and the fairy magic. If I recall, when they opened it, wasn't until Lily got there and opened it that she was like, oh, wait, I have to stay behind because there was, like you say, too close to Arctis door, or because they had the other guys coming from the other, like
the contrary. And
I seem to remember there, being some reason where initially she, or, you know, it was just the fact of like, oh, where they were now she has to, but... Maybe that was there. Maybe that was always the thing. Is that
so? In this case, there's no onus for Harry to have to keep this gate open.
There was a much bigger, but I mean that's the thing though, is that being that they were so close to, and she was keeping a much bigger gate, a much more stable gate for all these people, right? Could have taken more to do too. She just ripped a little tear like Harry is doing here. It might not have, but. Because he does talk, because that was part of what he says about screwing up Cowles. He's like, I don't have to kick his butt. I just kind of have to, like, distract and, like, wobble his elbow kind of a thing and make him. So it's a little bit hard to say whether Harry is still managing to keep a fair amount of concentration on it. But I'm going to say that it has more to do with the type of magic. Because we will see somewhere else.
And I'll buy that. Like, that is circumstantially much different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And when he opens the hole in grave peril, he specifically says to Michael, I'm opening it for 5 minutes. If we're not back out in 5 minutes, my godmother will kill us anyway. So.
Okay.
So I don't know that he's necessarily, if that's like the amount of power he put into it kind of makes its own countdown, or if he himself is like, I will close this in 5 minutes no matter what because of
the consequences.
Yeah, but one way or another. So.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't go that far away from it either. They just stepped to the other side.
And they ran into the godmother anyway, so.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I feel like, with him, it's more just like once it's open, it stays open until he either runs out of power or chooses to shut it again.
He says specifically, I hurled myself backwards at the rift and prayed that it was still open enough to let me fall through. So, I don't think he was necessarily controlling that. How fast it would close. He just either only put enough power into it that it would only last so long.
Or only had so much power.
Or knew his concentration was flagging too much to, I don't know.
Yeah.
And didn't knew exactly. Okay.
Which makes sense, because, he was still younger and whatever. And again, at that point, you're right, because he was always avoiding the Nevernever. He wasn't practicing getting in and out of it a lot, but yeah.
Okay.
Harry put the onus of keeping the civilians alive back on Lara, who put them in this mess in the first place, so...
The word's starting to sound weird now.
Right.
Own us, own you.
So they start taking their little big group and hobbling back across the cave to get...
Marcone is so cool, he brought bombs.
That's the next thing. You know what? If you can't beat them, blow them all up. But even still, this was obviously because he's got it already, because Harry's basically like, did you bring them? And he's like, yeah, they're already set up and ready to go, right? So it wasn't even like a maybe. It was like you came in, set this shit up, ready to, like, he knew no matter what, he was taking this place down when he went.
Efficient planning.
Premeditated.
Laura said at the beginning, too, she's like, well, it's really convenient not having to walk far to dump your bodies. Like, Harry's known for, like, 2 years now. This place fucking sucks. They are discarding who knows what out here. Every time...
Who knows who?
Every time a white vampire accidentally goes too far and kills one of their...
or not so accidentally.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Easy, convenient place. All the other people they kill, easy, convenient place. Harry's like, fuck this place.
Yeah, Harry doesn't like this place. He's not had as much fun here as the Rays. he got, beat up and dragged down there. Murphy got beat up and humiliated and pseudo-controlled down. Right?
Thomas was almost sacrificed.
Yeah, Harry's like, I don't like this place. It's not a good time for Harry and friends down here. So he has no, and it's not like he can, usurp it and make it his own because it's firmly entrenched on Wraithland. It's way the fuck away from his place. It's not like he can just be like, you know what? I'm gonna take this over. If I can't have it, no one can have it. Yeah. But conveniently enough, it no longer leaves them very much time to get the fuck out of this meat grinder.
Yeah, just when you've forgotten that Ramirez is there. And the Harry's massive spell starts to fall. Boom, boom! Ramirez takes out a bunch of them. Because they're all, lined up. It's like that, like a bowling strike.
Yeah, it's just conveniently enough, they all just line up to attack, and Ramirez is like, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, and then gets a knife to the belly for his efforts.
Yeah,
that's perfect D&D.
Not cool, but nonetheless...
I appreciated kind of like when that point of pain sort of reaches Ramirez where he's like, oh shit, there's two. There's two of them. What? I thought you just stepped on me.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of a nice moment and that I totally buy too. When things are sudden and whatever, you don't realize what is like, oh, I just ripped open my hand.
Yeah, I thought adrenaline will dull things and then suddenly you go, oh shit, that's worse than I thought it was.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I really like the extraction that happens here, though, now. When Harry just starts holding the line. He's like, all right, Murphy, now you go. Okay, Marcone, now you go. Okay, Thomas, now you go. Okay, Ramirez, he just starts calling them, and they just, break off one by one, and you just get the dwindling numbers of the last few of them stuck landing here.
Which is so good, because that's how it is, right? You get your... Somebody's got to go. Start getting the fuck out, so the last person can come out, too, right? Or where you get those little pockets of, are you sure? And he's like, no, Murph, now you got it, right? Yeah. Ramirez is dying. You got to get him out of here. He held the exit for us, so now, right, I need you, I trust you, you got to do that, and then, some mercenaries on your side, and then, right, exactly, when we try to get to them, they're like, well, they're still holding off the thing, right, and then you get, this last minute where Harry's like, well, I can't leave until everybody's out, and I shut the gate, and Malcolm's like, well, I can't leave until you leave, because I'm here to get you out, so, right, and Thomas, and right, so you get that little bit of that squabble at the end of but even that, right, even when the sisters and all that kind of stuff peel off, and you get this impressive thing of Thomas and Laura.
Oh my God, it's the most beautiful nightmare I've ever seen.
Yeah. But again, it makes you wonder how this all, because again, Laura is the oldest. So she's the oldest daughter, and we know that there's no boys though. So whether she was the oldest, it doesn't matter because they've all been eliminated. So she is, and we learn that she's not as old as we thought either, because we find out in a while she's, 150 or something? Was that all it was?
300, I think.
Is it 300? Okay, a little bit better then. It still seems odd to me, because, with this ancient Etruscan and the whole, again, a Papa Raith is, 500 years old.
I mean, honestly, I don't know why you're bringing up that she's the oldest. We don't know she's the oldest. We just know that she's the most savvy.
Yeah, there's
they just keep saying, she is currently the oldest.
Did they say that?
Yes, yes, repeatedly, that she is the oldest living.
I've ever picked up on that ever.
Yes, no, she is the current oldest. I'm quite positive. So yeah, I think you're wrong. You go ahead, you look it up. You prove me wrong.
No,
it happens once.
Discord will tell which one of us is wrong.
But then you have to wait a couple of weeks to find out. However long. But anyway.
But I only care from information that was relevant as of 2007 when White Knight came out.
Yes. It does only matter.
Whether or not it says.
The point is, yes, as of then. But she's the oldest. Thomas is the youngest. And so I'm like, again, these other...
Also not true.
The youngest right there with.
Okay. Acceptable.
The youngest vampire, because Nari was the only one, and she kicked the habit and moved on.
Correct.
Thank you. That's all my point is, yes. The oldest vampire child, the youngest vampire child there. I'm like, so these sisters in between, they're good fighters. But again, it's impressive that Thomas is on par with Laura, who has had a few centuries, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, to hone and improve. And Thomas is
That's
like,
something
nah.
that actually has been said in the books, though, is that Thomas is like fucking powerful for a vampire too, and he thinks that comes from like being Raith's son. Is like Raith was just a fucking like
a powerhouse.
He was such a powerhouse. All his children are powerhouses.
And also, I think part of it probably because, again, Thomas learned very quickly, if I don't want to die,
get assassinated by my dad.
I gotta be able to.
And then, even furthermore, of all of them to be trained, Lara was his number one. She purposely raised Thomas to not get murdered by their father.
Well, and that's it. Lara again was that. Yeah, she was.
She trained him.
She was the mother.
They
especially
are a perfect team.
But yes, after Margaret left, that Lara, yes, was Thomas's mother figure and raised him and all of that. But anyways, not that it's relevant to this around us, but I do still find it crazy that, again, I just feel that like Lara and her sister should be a lot older, because I feel like Papa Raith has been around so long that I'm like, I kind of get with the wizards. Like, fine, so Ebenezer took like a couple hundred years or something before he...
Yeah, I agree. 1,000-year-old vampire seems to make more sense, but
yeah, but especially, again, just how I'm like it's a little better at the 300, because when I was trying to remember, because I remember just being so much lower than I figured, and I was thinking like 150, and I'm like, you know, like North America and stuff like that, I'm like, we're barely past like the 150s. I'm like, we don't talk about like ancient Canada, you know what I mean? I'm like,
not in North America, but yes, Canada or America, yes.
You know, I was like, it's just funny to think when they're like, still speaking like ancient Etruscan and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, then y'all should be a lot freaking older than this. But anyways, that's a slightly separate point. But yes, Thomas and Lara managed to, at the end, hold over this take on the whole thing while everybody else runs out. And then even then, where he's like, go. And they have that beautiful, just magical, like, spring. Okay, I'm going to run away through the gate now.
Yeah, Chicago turns 190 next year.
See, there's nothing ancient there. So if Lara's only like that old, she can't be. But 5,300 is slightly better. But I feel like you still got to go back a ways to be like, ancient. Wait a minute, ancient Mai, how old are you?
Psychic attack.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh no, everybody's getting away. My giant plan didn't work.
You gotta feel bad for Cowell, because he didn't know there was a fallen angel in his head. That's not fair.
Right.
That would have been so good, Cowell.
Disclosure. Council did not disclose the full evidence, not in standing, whatever. Yeah.
But yes, this whole... I mean, we're not shy to psychic attacks anymore. We've been through a lot of them by now. We've been through a lot of side characters and having and experiencing them. Elaine had one like 3 chapters ago.
You gotta wonder though, like this is obviously, this is brilliant, this is sudden, this gives you that, oh my god, plot twist, right? Like Harry's winning, oh no. And again, maybe
things are going too well. Here's a wrench.
Okay, so again, maybe it's a power thing, right? That concentrated has more effect. But I'm like, you could have pulled this. Like again, Murphy's through the gate. Most of Marcone's men are through the gate room. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, you could have done more. If you had pulled this out a little bit earlier, you could.
I just want Harry. I don't care about anyone else.
Like, right as soon as they all started running to the gate, why did he not? Like, because
there was too much shit going on. He was too busy killing the other houses.
Maybe, right? And I'm like, is that the thing? It's just, would it have taken too much more power
people are getting away.
Now, lay it on?
Okay. Couple of things to remember at the beginning of this book is that Harry was never supposed to be here. As far as Cowell and Biscavis and Malvora knew, Harry wouldn't get involved. They were just going to take over everything. Having Cowell involved doesn't even make sense, really. Like, why does he care about the Scabies or Malvora taking control over the Wraiths? For some reason that we don't know, he does. And then Harry gets involved in this, right? He was like, all these other people, all these other problems. Like, attacking Harry when he's only known Harry was involved for like 24, 48 hours is like, he didn't have a lot of planning, okay? He's like, this guy is such a fucking pain in my ass. I don't even know what the other side is doing right now. I just fucking want to get rid of this guy because he's fucking ruining all my goddamn plans. I'm just saying, like, this wasn't a targeted attack against Harry by Cowell from day one. It came out of nowhere that Harry got himself involved. As far as we know, Cowell had no expectation of any of this happening.
Well, I mean, it's been more than like 24 to 48 hours. Like, you know, because
he stalked them, not really.
No, but since Blanchard's body, you know, and all that, since Madrigal started dropping hints and that Harry got involved, like, has it not been a little bit more than?
I don't think
there's
so.
a lot of balls in the air for him, too.
Yeah, since the conversation in the car, not really.
I just feel like it's been a little bit more than a couple of days.
It was like conversation in the car kind of happened overnight, and then the next night was the boat.
I feel like we're doing more like 5 to a week, but I could be wrong.
Shit.
But either way, no, I get that. But if he's still going to have this in his, and again, as we learn in the next chapter, as we get more information on it, like where it's coming from, you kind of would think that, again, there would be a bigger power source to call on to, like, I get that he may not have been anticipating it, but that he still could have brought it out a little bit sooner when
I get it would have been more
started
effective sooner. I'm just saying, like.
But he also sounds like he's kind of going mad as well during this whole thing.
Vito or Cowell?
Vito.
Oh, yeah, Vito's totally lost
Like
his
he's
shit.
so like
Yeah, that's
probably never had
there's
it
not
to
a
begin
lot of
with.
logic to when he's going to throw what spell he wants around or attack.
Yeah, I just feel like some of this might have
his
been...
actions kind of lack logic at this point. So.
I guess. I just feel like, Cowell could be also, you'd be like, it'd be really good right now, Vito, to just, like, I don't know, if it's entirely on him, then yes, maybe that accounts for some of the...
And I think the events transpire a lot faster than
well,
what we're
obviously,
perceiving, because like these are like really
these
like
countdowns, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, sure, it's great that there's only a couple of you left to worry about. It makes it so much easier, but again, I'm just mildly surprised that if you had this big,
if we were to act out this scene.
So how long does it take to? And I mean, yeah, like I say, right? Like, it could have been the thing that, again, you try and spread it out over 200 people. It's not going to be nearly as effective as concentrating it on, like, 4 people, Like, it may be just as simple as that. But
Or just too much going on is...
Yeah.
I mean, like...
But regardless, anyways, luckily Murphy and Ramirez and all of them are on the other side and far enough away that they are not caught directly in this. Thank goodness, because like you say, Murphy's been through this enough already. And Justine and a bunch of the other poor thralls that have nothing to do with nothing. But yeah, it does. It takes that second to, right before Harry recognizes it for what it is. But it's just, it's also funny. I'm like, I get this is, again, the outside voices coming. I was so tired. I'd struggled and fought to achieve nothing but raw chaos, rendering the whole of my effort useless. My only true friends had been badly injured or had run, leaving me in this hellish cavern. Those who currently stood beside me were monsters of one stripe or another. Even my brother, who returned to his monstrous ways and feeding on other human beings. And I'm like, again, makes sense in a second when you're being fed these. But at the same time, it's like, Harry, you literally were just like, everybody get out the gate, I get to save you so that you're now. He's like, they all ran away and left. I'm like, no, you just told them to.
That's obviously the psychic attack, twisting it.
I know, but that's what I mean, right? It's like, you're like, what the fight till you get in? And Harry's like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. But exactly, it's just that thing where it's like, that's where you can tell that there's like, yeah, more of that.
No, I like that part, actually. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good way to twist it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but...
They left me. They all left me.
I know, I go, because you told them to leave. Oh, no.
And then he's like, they're all dead, so what does it matter? Wait, they didn't run away. They're dead.
They're dead. Something's going to get them. We're all going to blow up. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
It's a really great setup for the next chapter. It's a really great setup.
It is. And it was a nice twist coming, because, yeah, you're first like, oh, my God, Harry's actually going to make it.
Yeah, he's doing his
Harry
job.
planned in advance.
Everybody showed up.
He has
like
an
fucking
extraction. Everybody did their jobs. Oh, fuck. No, we can't have this.
And now that they're all through and it's too late to save you.
This concludes our episode 18.21, Ghouls, Guns, and Guilt. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.